Alright, this is TGC Requiem, and as noted, we are going to do a little bug Soulflayer. So this is not the fastest start, but Lao the Troll is a good opening hand card. And we have two fetches and an Urborg, which actually is a little nicer on the life totals. We have a couple good cards to pitch, Stinkweed in particular, which helps feed Grave Strength. So we're going to go ahead and keep this. We're going to go ahead and start excuse me, with Verdant Catacombs. We're going to fetch into a Sideways Shock here at the end of our opponent's first turn, unless they're on burn, in which case we'll take advantage of... Okay, so it looks like we have Affinity. Luckily we have a lot of flyers, which could help us here. So the way Affinity works, we're just going to go straight into, they're trying to race you. He's actually on somewhat of a slow start, it almost feels like. I am not worried if he tries to shoot me with pitching all of my creatures to keep my Lotleth Troll alive. Now, if he's able to play and I can't think of the name of the burn spell that they play, but it's basically 2 damage and it's 4 damage if they control a certain number of artifacts. Might be 3 for Metalcraft. But if that's the case, then 4 is not going to be enough. So we'll hope we get past that. We'll plan on discarding Stinkweed Imp no matter what before end step. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and discard Stinkweed Imp, which allows us to get our graveyard rocking. We're not going to draw a card. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures out there. This is beautiful. I'm just trying to think. I don't believe there is anything Affinity has. Sorry, I'm just thinking here. Anything Affinity has that can really kill my creature once it gets that big. Maybe they play Dismember. But they have no mana up, so we're just going to go for it here. And then Grave Strength will mill 3 more creatures into the graveyard. Boom, 15-15 trample, or 15-14 trample Lotleth Troll. And we still have mana up to regenerate him. Erase that affinity. Hopefully I don't have anything to exile it. Alright, so that was game one. Seemed to go pretty well. Now, against Affinity, Golgari Charm will definitely come in. Collected Company is a little slow. Sorry, I've got my sort by converted mana cost. So Invisible Stalker is not really relevant here. Thrun, not relevant. Segu Mauler still is in case we can delve. I think we are gonna bring in Scabs. I'm gonna take... We're just trying to get as many flyers out there, the potential for flyers. And Tarmogoyf is also not necessarily the best against this deck. Basically, we're trying to get, whoops, we're trying to get big flyers out there. So we're still running 26 creatures. I'm trying to think if we need to get more than that. I think we're just going to go with this. We'll see how the next game goes. Alright, so this hand is interesting. We don't really have any way to get to Soulflayer. Thoughtscour is okay, and Soulflayer is not necessarily the most important thing, but we also don't have any grave strength here. We don't have any ramp. I really think this is just too slow, especially on the draw. No land is always a bad keep. This is probably going to be doable, and we're just going to have to hope for some luck. Alright, so... Alright, being on 3 mana is good. Abrupt Decay is very beneficial. Just making sure. Alright, so Vault Scourge. Right now we're kind of on a delay tactic. So Abrupt Decay is needed on that relic, but keep in mind we also changed to not necessarily have to go so graveyard centric, but we also did not pull all of the graveyard centric stuff out. because speed against Affinity is still important. We're actually gonna go for an island just to keep life down, especially knowing we have Urborg there. Excuse me. Keep in mind this is maybe like the 4th or 5th time I've played this deck, and even so, this is just the most recent iteration. So this is actually the first time I've played this exact build of the deck. I've been playing more of the Jund version, my buddy's been playing more of the Bug version. His Bug version's more on the Collected Company side. Mine's more get that fast Lotleth Troll or Grave Strength as quickly as possible on your Soulflayer. Although I think as we've kind of gone through our testing, it's been one of those things where we both are kind of seeing eye to eye on certain cards. Alright, perfect. More cranial plating. Or more abrupt decay. Fodder. So at this point, I want to abrupt decay the cranial plating, but Stinkweed gets me going for Scab Ruinator. Blocker with Death Touch. Yeah. So we're kind of settling into a little bit of a grindier game. I'm assuming he's activating his Nexus, but yeah. So our plan is whatever he attaches cranial plating to, we'll block. Let's see, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I think we're just going to block 1 at this point, and we're going to go for the land. I'm not really worried about lifelink. I guess, well, he's not giving me the choice. So I'm actually going to let him take his shot. He's going to attach crown plating to this guy right here. But that's fine. This gives us plenty. Especially considering we have the abrupt decay. And we may just have to hold off a turn here. So he actually, For some reason I'm thinking the stinkweed was going to die here, but I guess we're kind of okay either way. We can't cast Scab still, which is a pain, but we can Abrupt Decay the Cranial Plating at combat this next step. We need to get a blue-green land. Blue-black. Blue-green. So this case, we're going to end up just Abrupt Decaying the Cranial Plating. If he attacks with his land as well, Stinkweed will block the land, and we'll just let the Vault Scourge swing in for 1. Right now we're just trying to buy into some of our own answers. And remember, we mulligan down to 5, so we're still kind of doing alright, considering. He's thinking through what shenanigans I have. Alright, so now we're just going to block here. And passing of the turn. Ooh, another relic. That's painful. Chord of Calling would be nice here. Golgari Charm's also nice. So I forgot to do this earlier, last turn, which is unfortunate. Doesn't really affect what we're doing at the moment, though. Pretty much on the Golgari Charm plan for this next round of combat. Arcbound Ravager is a little annoying. Although making him sacrifice, I think well, he can't attack this turn, so we're gonna just hold off on Golgari Charm. We can block him with Stinkweed. Alright, so we see his whole hand now. Okay, so we don't really have any creatures in there now, but, well, it's not the greatest. I actually think Grave Strength on birds is good. We may get lucky enough that we can cast Scab Ruinator afterwards. Now he may crack his relic. No, it doesn't do him any good to crack it now. And if he waits till it resolves, that's not going to affect our ability to cast Scab. Unfortunately, that was a bit of a whiff, but enough so that Golgari Charm still might be of use. Alright, so we're just going to have to hold the fort. And he really can't profitably attack here. Even if he attacks with Arcbound, Stinkweed's got him. And frankly, I've got 2 Stinkweeds that I can cycle now, so... I don't know if he's just kind of now realizing that he... So he's just going to sacrifice. And when he sacrifices to the Blink Moth, we actually can Golgari Charm here, which is kind of lovely. So he's going to sacrifice several artifacts to the Arcbound Ravager. Maybe... yeah, because he's just going to try and... no matter what, the Arcbound's dead now, so he has to sacrifice those. We just got to be careful with the timing here. So there's a step where these counters will go to the Blink Moth or the Memnite, and that's where we strike with the Golgari Charm. Alright, so now his Arcbound dies. And he's going to target the Blink Moth, at which point all creatures get -1/-1. Arcbound trigger fizzles. He's going to Relic of Progenitus here, I presume. Draw a card, that's fine. This is brutal. Start getting some basics just in case he's running Blood Moon. Alright, maybe we can get some gas going here. Okay, now we've got a little gas. Kind of been able to fight through it here. This is legendary, so he's going to have to sacrifice one. I don't know what that was all about. Got another Ruinator, can't really do anything with it at the moment. He's just trying to find a creature. Golgari Charm has been really good in my minimal testing with this deck so far. Okay, so we got Master now. Now we're maybe having to be a little more tentative. So Master the Feast is good, but we don't want to give him too much gas. I'm trying to think how fast we can do this. If we go in for 9, we put him on a... Yeah, I think we just go for the Master of the Feast right now. We're going to swing for 9, and we'll have lethal the next turn. Unless he attacks into it and blocks, but even if he attacks in, at most he's going to be a 5/5 and we trade. In theory. I mean, it's almost certain that he draws an artifact, right? Unless he draws another Glimmer Void. Alright, and I'm gladly going to trade with him, but if he doesn't attack, I attack for lethal, so he has to attack. When he attacks, Welding Jar gets sacrificed, his creature stays alive, but he doesn't get a card draw off of it. So he's going to sacrifice Welding Jar, but by doing that, he becomes a 4/4. Okay, that is an artifact creature, right? Okay, not sure what was going on there. Attack for 5. Back from the brink. Not to say we've won, because we certainly haven't, but... game. Well, so that's this Bug Soulflayer deck versus Affinity. Faster than Affinity the first game, and grinding them out the second game. So, yeah, I like the deck. I've been playing more with the Jund version. I'll do a separate thing about the Jund version. It is more all-in on beating you ASAP. This version is more about quality creatures and being able to fight a graveyard hate game with Collected Company, Pack Rat, Liliana, etc. Because in that case, you don't actually need the graveyard if you're pulling out your Soulflayers and your Invisible Stalkers, etc. You don't need creatures in the graveyard. So anyway, that is that deck. First match. I'll probably get some more matches up later, but hopefully you enjoyed that. I know I enjoyed playing it.